First couple of days kind of feeling, myself out, but just kind of understanding, there's a certain standard that we need to have as DBs, period. And I think that we didn't live up to that standard today, honestly. We won. It's great that we won. I'm happy that we won. But I just think as a whole, and that's something we're going to talk about this week, we have to practice harder. We have to meet better. We have to do all those things to make sure that we're giving ourselves a great chance to win games.
Kevin, records being broke around here. Yeah, records being broke around here. Shout out to A.J. Brown breaking Calvin Johnson's record, and there is some more records he might be on his way to break. Shout out to Kevin Byard for taking accountability for the poor play of this secondary, Darius Slay as well, and shout out to Jalen Hurts for just being Jalen Hurts. So today we got some things to talk about, man. A bunch of fraud stuff going on in the NFL that leaves the Philadelphia Eagles the only team with only one loss in the NFL. We got the Cowboys coming up. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about some guys that may be out of the lineup and back in the lineup. So before we get into all that, let's get it.
You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. It's your boy Joe Castro, a.k.a. Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast. So let's hop right into it, man. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family. You know what to do. You know the vibes, man. Y'all know how to get down in this. So we are going to start with the positives. All right, the Eagles are 7-1. Jalen Hurts had probably one of his best games of his career, if not his best game. Now I believe 6 games over 300 yards passing. The boy is going off. The boy is doing his thing, man. This is what people wanted to see. Now you're seeing it, right? And the fruits of his labor are helping other players. So you saw A.J. Brown out there, 6th game with over 125 yards receiving, breaks Calvin Johnson's record, and he's on pace to break another record, which we'll get into. But I also want to talk about some bad things, right? It wasn't the most pretty game from the defense. Eagles defense gave up way too many yards, had Sam Howell out there looking like Peyton Manning. It was not fun to watch. But at the end of the day, they made plays when they needed to, and we were down some big players, literally and figuratively. But they are possibly coming back, and we might be losing another guy. We got some guys on the offense coming back. So we're going to get into all that. The first thing I really want to start with is going to be Jalen Carter, man. So Jalen Carter, he left the game in the second half. It was tough. It was tough, and I think that you really saw the necessity of a Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter is not only a dog when it comes to the pass rush, which the Eagles could not get to Sam Howell to save their life. They only got that 1 sack. Shout out to Hassan Reddick. He's out there just dogging, just going crazy. Has more sacks, more tackles for loss than last year, doing his damn thing. But nobody gonna talk about that. But I will. But Jalen Carter, man. So he's going to have an MRI. This tweet is from yesterday from Jeff McClain. He's going to have an MRI today on his back to see how serious the back injury is. The severity of that injury is going to tell us a lot about this defense. The Eagles are in a position where they need everybody they can have at defense. I mean, you look at the offenses we're going to go against, no matter how you feel about them. The Cowboys are hot right now. Kansas City Chiefs coming off of a pretty bad loss. I'm not going to lie to you. Losing to the Denver Broncos like that, a team that the Miami Dolphins were able to put up 70 on. You couldn't even put up 9 on it. You couldn't even put 10 on them. I don't want to say fraud, but it ain't looking too good for them. And then you look at the 49ers, it is what it is. I think that they're a fraud. We still got to play them. They still have Christian McCaffrey. They still got some guys on that offense, George Kittle, that can take over a game, and they want to beat us. So I'm not going to look at these week's games and say, all these teams are trash. Obviously, Cowboys coming off a huge win. We got the Bills. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for. This is the stretch of games that we've been waiting for. I would love to have Jalen Carter back this game. We luckily do have a bye week after this game. So, if he is not good to go, he will have 2 weeks to, rest up and get ready for the slew of games that we have. But this is a big loss. And again, you saw it in the game, man. Fletcher Cox went in there and he did his best. He did what he could. Milton Williams was kind of in and out of the game as well, but when he was in, he was making some plays. We need him. I mean, we saw Kentavious Street in there. No hate on Kentavious Street at all. He made a pretty good tackle on one of the run plays, but I don't want to see Contavious. I want to see Jalen Carter in there, and I'm hoping that this injury is not too serious. That's really all it comes down to. Once we hear more, I'll definitely get to it and probably do like a quick little video so you guys know what's going on. But this was a tough loss, man. And again, I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but you saw what he brings to this team. So we are going to keep our eye on this, see what's going on with Jalen Carter. Now, on the opposite end of that, Cam Jurgens looks to be coming back for the Dallas Cowboys game. That is huge. Sua Opeta has not been doing horrible, but as far as a run blocker, he has not been nearly as good as Cam Jurgens was. Now, I will say Tyler Steen looked really good on the drive that he was out there. I was actually kind of surprised that we even put Sua Opeta back out there, to be 100% honest with you. I felt like, why not just keep Tyler Steen in there? The one drive that he was in there, we basically walked the ball down the field. You saw the difference between Cam Jurgens and Sua Opeta when it comes to what DeAndre Swift was doing. This week, I don't know why we didn't use a DeAndre Swift at all, it felt like. But at the end of the day, that is a guy that we need back. And if we can get Cam Jurgens back this week, I think it will be huge, not only for this running game, but also this passing game. And honestly, just the confidence of this team. When you get players back, especially of his stature, it puts a little bit more confidence in your team. It puts a little confidence boost in a Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts, another guy that we have to worry about injury-wise. We did see him getting, limping down the field, when they were in that 2-minute hurry-up offense and trying to put some points on the board. He's been playing out of his mind, even with the injury, but there is something wrong. I don't know what it is. We've heard that it may be a knee bruise, but that was from Jay Glazer. I don't really know who in the Eagles organization talks to Jay Glazer. Maybe he's the good source, but either at the end of the day, there is something wrong there, and they're being very tight-lipped about it, but we just got to hope that he can play through it. Hopefully that, bye week comes at the perfect time. It doesn't get any worse from here for Jalen Hurts, and he's able to heal up, again, for this onslaught of games that we're going to have in the coming weeks. We are not going to have an easy slate. We start with Dallas Cowboys, get that little bye week, and then we have just juggernauts of team, a bunch of playoff teams. So this is what happens when you're the number one team the year before. You play the number one teams of every other conference, of every other division. This is what we knew we were going to have to deal with, but now it's here. We had the first 8 games where we all felt like we should be able to come out of there 7-1, 8-0, some people were saying, 6-2 at worst. We felt that we could go out there and take advantage of a weak start to our schedule. And we did. To be 7-1 right now, especially with the amount of injuries that we've had, the amount of uncertainty that we've had, whether it be play calling, whether it be, personnel choices, whatever it may be, we've had a lot of uncertainty. People don't like Brian Johnson, but we're still 7-1. So that's the good part. We got to see what's going to happen now. I told you, Jalen Hurts has been playing outside of his mind. And look, this is the wrong one. We'll bring Jalen Carter up one last time. But yeah, Jalen Hurts has been playing outside of his mind, man. 24-2 in his last 26 starts. He's the 6th quarterback in NFL history with 300 yards and 2 touchdowns in 6 straight games. That is absolutely insane. Right now, he's number 2 in the NFL in completion percentage above expectation. So that basically means what you're supposed to get on the play, he's getting more than that. He's and I've said this before, a lot of people are talking about Brian Johnson, looking at the numbers, saying that our offense isn't too far, if not a little bit better statistically than they were last year, but I think it's a lot to do with Jalen Hurts' maturation. He has been, look, a lot of those big plays last night were realistically because of him going off script and finding the second, the third option, the second, the third window to throw into. Jalen Hurts is realistically doing something that a lot of us, and me included, did not think he could do. I did not think he would get to where he is right now this quick. He is looking like one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now. And it's beautiful to see. Yesterday, we did not have a good defensive performance. I said that, and Kevin Byard, said that in the beginning of the game. at the end of the game, beginning of the video. And we want to see that improved, man, because at the end of the day, we cannot go out there and expect to win against great teams like that. Washington, for some reason, has our number. It's the best thing about that game yesterday is we don't play them again. But we are going to go against very good teams. And if you give up the ball, especially in the 5-yard line, if you give up the ball anywhere, they're going to take advantage of it. Washington took advantage of it. They didn't take advantage of it enough. Obviously, we went out there and scored and won the game. But we need to clean things up. And I've been saying this for the past couple of weeks. You cannot go into this slew of games thinking that you're just going to get by that. Hey, something's going to figure it out. Something's going to work, and we're just going to win. No, you got to go out there and you got to have a better game plan. Brian Johnson, you got to stop using Kenny Gainwell in the red zone. It just doesn't make sense. A lot of the stuff that they are doing, even after Kenneth Gainwell's fumble, why are you throwing him the ball 15 times after that? Why aren't we utilizing DeAndre Swift? I understand he's not the best pass blocker in the world, but do something else. Keep a tight end back. Do something. Do something that makes sense, because it does not make sense to keep Kenny Gainwell out there averaging like 1 yard a game. It just doesn't make sense to me, and I'm tired of seeing it, to be 100% honest. Now, I hope that they learn from this. I hope that, they really start to open up this offense, so to speak, because I hear everybody always saying that this offense is yet to open up. This offense, is still holding back. And I hope that's true, because if that's not true, this is an ugly offense. Luckily we got our quarterback. Luckily we got our quarterback, and luckily we got him himself. Luckily we got AJ Brown, because AJ Brown is just on a tear. We talked about this, man. 6 games with over 125 yards, breaking Calvin Johnson's record, and he's on pace to break another one of Calvin Johnson's record. Now, Calvin Johnson may take AJ Brown off his Christmas list for this, because he's just kind of making him irrelevant. Not irrelevant, but I'm talking that junk. At the end of the day, Calvin Johnson's single-season receiving yards record is 1,964, 1,964 yards. A.J. Brown currently is on pace for 128 catches and 1,995 yards and 11 touchdowns. Could he break it? I mean, obviously there's an extra game, right? We're at 17 games now this year, so there may be a little bit of an asterisk there, but I do believe that A.J. Brown has a pretty good chance at doing it, because A.J. Brown is going to continuously get 7+ catches a game. He is continuously going to be the main target, because you can't stop him. It's not about us force-feeding him the ball, right? A lot of times you can see a lot of teams and you're like, oh, they're just forcing him the ball on slants, on just getting him the ball, trying to get him involved. No, A.J. Brown is just, it feels like open every single play. So, look, A.J. Brown is going to keep on doing what he's going to keep on doing. And if to stay on this pace is going to be tough. I'm not going to lie. I don't expect him to get over 125 yards every other game, but he is going to have those breakout games, and he is going to have those games that we lean on him. And this week against the Cowboys may be another one. Now, Devontae Smith, another guy that's on pace to do a pretty good job this year. 1,024 yards for him, 83 catches and 6 touchdowns is what he's on pace for. I think he might go up a little bit. And the beautiful thing about this, right? You look at these numbers. One doesn't necessarily mean the other doesn't happen. So if A.J. Brown starts to slow down, it feels like Devontae Smith will probably start to pick up, right? And if A.J. Brown continues on this pace, Devontae Smith continues on his pace, it's still 2 very good years from your wide receivers. So I mean, look, what do you really want from A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts? Nothing. I feel like the players have done their job. I feel like now it's on Brian Johnson, Nick Sirianni, and this coaching staff to figure out what the hell you're going to do, because you are, in my opinion, holding them back. I really, truly feel that. I need better play design. I need smarter personnel choices. Again, like I said, if you don't love DeAndre Swift as a blocker, keep a Jack Stoll in there. Run more 12 personnel. I know you don't want to necessarily take your Julio Jones out, but I mean, take him out. It really doesn't matter to me. At the end of the day, if you got 2 dogs like this, find a way to involve A.J. Brown, DeAndre Swift, and Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert. Obviously, Dallas Goedert, you want to see more of him, but I feel like they're asking him to block a little bit more because they don't really trust their running backs in blocking. Now, maybe that's a trade. Maybe they go out there and trade for a running back. I don't know if Derrick Henry is going to be the guy, but there's some guys out there. Maybe Adrian Peterson's old ass. He want to come back to the NFL, so maybe you go call out for him. I doubt it, but maybe. I don't know. It would be interesting, though. Adrian Peterson's like 38 or something like that. I don't want to see the Eagles do it, but it would be funny to see. Obviously we got Julio Jones. We would have like the best Madden team like 10 years ago if we Adrian Peterson. But look, this is what we want to see. This is what we continuously want to see. And I truly do feel like when you get to this Dallas game, this is when all the marbles are on the line. If you can go out there and dominate the Dallas Cowboys, you are now the best team in the NFL. So you guys let me know what you're thinking, man. Let me know in the comments how you guys are feeling tonight. I will be on with Joey Shake, so I hope to see all of you guys there. But other than that, man, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it's going to be, man. It's Fly Eagles Fly. We're out here. Peace!
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for
Yeah.
you.
Fly Eagles flying on the team. Touchdown, touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling with Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man soft. Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season head, early time to do him in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.